Paint an image in your head that you were a 5-year-old child that came with your mom and dad to seek asylum from your country that is going into war, crossing through blazing hot temperatures through the desert, or even trying to swim through El Rio Grande just to look for a country that's better safe for you and your family. These kids that cross over the border with their families are not expecting for them to get ripped out of their parents' arms. That's why today I'm going to try to persuade to you on why these children should not be separated from their families at the border. We'll be going over the absurd policies that were created on why these kids were separated from their families, the conditions they were put in, and finally the effects on these poor children. In 2018, the 45th president, Donald Trump, created a zero-tolerance policy that meant any families that crossed over the border with young children were separated at the border, according to Southern Law Poverty Center. Trump also created a policy that went by the name Pilot Program, which was also conducted in El Paso, Texas. This policy was also created to separate families at the border. Undocumented asylum seekers were thrown into prison, and any children under the age of 18 years old were sent more than 100 miles away from their parents to a refugee resettlement. The majority of these children were 5 years old. These policies are very cruel and are morally wrong. As a result of these policies, according to CBS News, at least 2,342 children were separated from their families at the border. Some may state that these policies are the right fit for families at the border. A mother by the name of Jocelyn that came to the United States to seek asylum in August 2018 came with her child, but then was separated at the border from him. Her child was then sent to a shelter home in Chicago and spent over 9 months without seeing a glimpse of him. As stated in the previous slide, 2,000 plus children are being held by Border Patrol agents for more than what they're supposed to be held for. According to Dara Lynn, the Department of Health and Human Services are supposed to detain these kids for up to 72 hours or until they found a close family relative that lives in the United States. But this is not the case here. These children are held for many days, sometimes weeks, or even months, without enough food, toothbrushes, going on days without showering, and under care for. These children are then put into overcrowded cages, not allowing them for even to have space to move an inch. They are also put to sleep on the floor with tinfoil blankets and having bad health conditions. Till this day, most of these children in the cages have not been able to see their parents. Some may state that Border Patrol agents are not harsh with the kids that they detain. But Border Patrol agents joked about a 16-year-old Guatemalan migrant who died in May while in custody at a Border Patrol station in Weslaco, Texas, according to Support the Guardian. While these young children are in the hands of Border Patrol agents, there have been tragedies due to the conditions they are put through when they're being detained. 7-year-old Jacqueline Calmaquin was also a child who died in the hands of Border Patrol agents due to her rapid progressive infection when she was being detained and shut down her organs. It was not able to make it to the hospital that was 90 miles away. Many of these children that are put into horrible conditions can also be affected by long-term effects. According to NPR Kids, a study in social science and medicine showed that 32% of these kids that were being detained showed emotional problems. In these studies, they also found a higher rate of emotional distress, for example, wanting to cry all the time, or having problems with the kids that were in the same cages with them. Many of these kids are also caused by post-traumatic stress disorder and showed some higher symptoms of PTSD. Some may state that kids can't be diagnosed with PTSD. But according to Kids Health, even kids that are in the cages that are detained can show PTSD symptoms. Traumatic events that lead to PTSD can also be to the children that are being self-harmed or get threatened to death. All in all, kids that are seeking asylum with their parents shouldn't be getting treated any less than an American citizen. The absurd policies that the 45th president created, the conditions the kids were put in, and the long-term effects of this is not what a human being should be put through. Thank you.